Greetings, fisher people. This is Captain Chris from Striper Express Guide Service on beautiful Lake Texoma with your Our Community Now fishing report. Today's fishing report, I want to talk about the spawn on Lake Texoma. Our striped bass actually naturally reproduce in our lake due to the high salt content and the long flowing rivers. It's a very natural phenomenon we are blessed to have. But in certain years, like this one, where the lake is flooding out, the waters are flowing, the Red River is very turbulent and very dirty. So there's areas where we should be fishing and they're spawning we really can't even get to. But there is also a benefit from it where we can adapt and make it happen. Some fish will come out of the mud because they're uncomfortable and they don't like all that mud on their gills. Same way as you wouldn't like a bunch of dust in your airways or your lungs. So they will retreat back to the clearer registers of the lake and attempt to spawn on sandbars and creeks and flats and just any area that they have a smooth bottom with some rushing water over it, that they'll try to get it done, so to speak. Well, this is the fish that we will target because it's the clearer water. They can see it. Taking baits like these sassy shads, and you throw this stuff up into that pure orange doo-doo water, they can't see it no matter what color it is. But these baits that we generally use this time of year in the spring, such as this sassy shad, the clear water, they'll locate it, find it, think it's a shad, hit it, fish on. And when they're doing this spawning in the main lake, you're looking for open water schooling, spawning shad, any kind of signs of waterfowl life to locate some fish for you, some activity. Another thing that's real important is taking the techniques, not just straight reeling it, throw it out there and reel it in. Throw it out there and reel it in. Well, that's fine if they're schooling and hitting anything that moves, but these fish have the two F's on their mind: fornication and feeding. And they only get to fornicate one time a year, so they think about it a whole lot. So when you get that bait down there in their face and they're on whatever it may be, sandbar, creek, point, up in the river, wherever you've located the fish and you're trying to get them to strike your bait, don't just straight reel it. Stop. Start. I tell people all the time, even if you just reel, pause. Reel, pause. It's still better than anything, but I really prefer you to fish it, especially when they're not feeding and you're trying to entice a strike. So like start, stop, pop, start, stop, a little fast rip every now and then, something like that to make them just trigger, because they're going to be following that bait. If you are in the water where the fish are and you're swimming that thing along, they're going to come up and look at it, but will they hit it? You got to make them hit it. And this happens the first full moon of every April every year, no matter if the lake is high, no matter if the lake is low. If the lake is low, they'll do it on flats and points just the same way because there's no flow in the river. There's not just one big giant school of striped bass in Lake Texoma, which a lot of people sometimes will think. Another thing that seems proper in the current times is this is a perfect social distancing tool. You can take this and point it, and you are 6 to 7 feet away from your friend or your partner or your co-angler, and y'all are out, UV rays, lots of wind blowing around, keeping your distance from each other, enjoying Mother Nature, and hopefully ripping some lips and landing some fish.